Worked up on the Psych Ward tonight. I was on the part that's not for like super crazy people. It was mostly just like very old people. One younger guy that was like, I think, just mute. I don't know if he was mute or if he just wasn't talking. But he just kind of walked around a lot and seemed to follow just whoever the closest person to him was. So, like, there was one area of the ward he wasn't allowed to go in, and the way to get him to not go there was basically just to walk in front of him very closely and then not go there, and he would just follow you. But yeah, there was a lot of walking, which I'm not huge on. I think I might have plantar fasciitis, I think is what it is. My heels hurt a lot, and they hurt when I get up. So I gotta pick up some ibuprofen. It's supposed to help with that in all but 20% of cases. Not like fix it, but just like downplay the effects while I come up with a permanent solution. One of the solutions they suggest is, just stay off your feet for a few weeks, and I don't have that option. Because I live in a city where you walk and take trains everywhere, and I work at a job where you walk all the time. So, I'm gonna have to go to a doctor at some point. It was an interesting. The one thing that made me uncomfortable is they had an old guy there with Alzheimer's. And he would look at me with the same look my grandpa gave me a lot. And it was that look of, I don't know who you are. I'm trying to figure out if I should know who you are. I don't know where I am. I'm scared and I'm confused. And I about cried, probably 6 or 7 times. I kept having to duck out, and eventually I was just avoiding eye contact with him. I couldn't do it. Because he looked a lot like him, too. He had more hair, but he had a real similar mustache. And that was hard. That part was hard. The rest of it was fine. There was one guy who, like, kind of the people in the ward ran the gamut from, like, there was one woman who was clearly severely, like, developmentally disabled, was, like, an adult, I don't know how old, you can't tell with some people, but well older than me, and was clearly just never going to be able to live on her own ever at any point. This was the solution that had been come up with for her. And then there was this one guy who I have to assume was in there for like depression or something, because he was, like, mentally he was there. He was all there. He wasn't one of those guys that's like he carries on a conversation, you think, oh, maybe he's not crazy, and then like he keeps going and it gets insane. You're like, oh no, he's crazy. No, he just seemed like a normal dude that I guess maybe just admitted himself. I don't know. He was nice. He was helping out a lot with like the mute guy. The mute guy would have like he'd kind of drool on himself a bit and it would kind of crust up, and this dude would walk around with him and be like, hey man, wipe your face off and help him out with it. So that was interesting. But then there was this old white dude. If you've seen Too Many Cooks, he looks a lot like the knife murderer, and only all of his hair is just white. And he was screaming and cussing, and apparently he will typically refuse to shower. Like, he'll go in the shower room for his allotted amount of time, and then he won't shower. And I guess he shit on himself in the day room, the little area where everybody gathers, and there's tables and chairs and there's a TV. And it smelled terrible, and he did it right as dinner was starting. And he was screaming at people, and not like the general, like insane, like, I'm just crazy scream, but he was screaming like, fuck you, I don't want to fucking have anything to do with you, you degenerate piece of shit, I'm gonna kill you, And he looked at me and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this 300-pound motherfucker. And I'm sitting here thinking, holy shit, he thinks I'm 300 pounds? Awesome, I'm doing really good. Like, shit, I must have lost a bunch of weight. Cool. But, no, it was an interesting experience. Like, once I figured out the rules, once I figured out, like, where I'm allowed to kind of take a load off of my feet, what is expected of me and where, once I kind of got my bearings, it went a lot better. So, I don't know if they're going to have me working there tomorrow. They could put me down in the ER. One thing I will say is, one thing this place has got on the ER is I was never angry the whole time I was up there. Not once. And when I'm in the ER, about a third of my time is spent just pissed off at somebody. So that was good. But, yeah, no, tomorrow's Memorial Day. And on my way home, I walked past several barbecues, one of which was a bunch of like old and middle-aged people who were just hanging out, and they seemed really nice. Yeah, no, there's music going all over the place, and it's almost 1 a.m. here, so you know, that's apparently a thing. But no,